Hello, and welcome to the James Ruggles Show. Today we have guest Jerry Macclanahan at his art studio gallery over in Chandler, Oklahoma. He will be talking to you today about some of his various projects and also about his Route 66 art in general. We're very proud to have Jerry Macclanahan on our program today. The James Ruggles Show and Arts in 66 in Oklahoma. Hello.
Howdy.
Today we have Jerry Macclanahan, one of your top Route 66 artists around. Where did you go to art school, Jerry?
Okay, first off, I started drawing as a child. I would do dinosaurs, trains, airplanes, cars, all that stuff. So I always had my hand in it. I went to a community college down in Corsicana, Texas for a while. Then I finished up my art education at North Texas State University in Denton, Texas. I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Very practical.
Yeah, well, it can be.
Well, it took a while, and after I finished, I really didn't know what was I going to do with my newfound art skills, I kind of floundered for a while, and then I rediscovered Route 66 about 1980. I got a book called Souvenirs of the Roadside West that had a lot of photos of all the cool stuff along the road, and I thought, I want to photograph that. And then I wanted to draw it. One of my earliest drawings over here is from 1981, from my first Route 66 trip as an adult to photograph the road.
The Shamrock.
Yeah, the U-drop-in in Shamrock.
Yeah.
So I found my subject matter, Route 66, Roadside America, old cars, and just took off from there.
Excellent. So you told us about this one. What are some of your other fine examples of art that you really like?
Okay, my favorite is this. Here it is, Kids. This is of the Jackrabbit Trading Post in Joseph City, Arizona, a place that has been going strong since 1949. Next to it is an original sign from the early 50s. He had hundreds of signs along Route 66, and my brother and I would always try to spot these signs, see them first, and then there would be a countdown on the billboards. 10 miles, 1 mile, 1,000 yards. Whoa, you missed it, because Dad would just drive on. This vacation dad is stopping because he's got a crying baby and they're going to let the kids out and have some fun.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, my dad, he didn't care to cry. This kid has a cat pistol. I dropped mine out the window in Arizona. Okay, I'm crying. Dad didn't stop by.
No, Dad don't stop for anything.
But yeah, so that's an oil painting that I did in the 90s. I mostly do watercolors now because oil painting's messy. You have to deal with the turpentine in the paint and stuff, so watercolor, pencil, sometimes acrylic. I just did a mural for the county clerk's office here in Lincoln County.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid working on step ladders and scaffolds for a while, though.
I don't blame you. When I get a chance here in a little bit, I would like to go over there. I haven't seen the museum yet, and you say...
Well, but today would not be the day for it since it's Veterans Day. Everything is closed.
Everything's going to be closed.
Yes,
okay, I'll have to check that out next time then when I buy it. Yeah, one of my Route 66 ventures. So, so basically you grew up sort of like I did. I grew up in Oklahoma, though. You grew up in Texas.
No, it's a convoluted story. My dad was in the oil field. He was not making a good living in Oklahoma. And I was a little over a year old in '58. We went to California. And guess which road we took?
66?
No, we went the southern route to El Paso and Phoenix and stuff.
Oh.
Really ruined my story. But he found good work. So the next year, we came back down 66 through Oklahoma City, headed to Arkansas. And I had grandparents in Arkansas and grandparents in Oklahoma. Almost every year from 59 to 69, we'd hit 66 from California through Oklahoma City. And then in 69, we moved to Texas, and I didn't get to get on Route 66 again until 1981, like I mentioned earlier. So, a little bit of Oklahoma, then California, then Texas, and now I've been here in Chandler since 2008.
Right. Well, I know you're friends with Jim Ross, and you're both historians. He's was known for writing the Oklahoma guide on Route 66, which I am really enjoying right now, folks. That is a very detailed book. It's the most detailed and most historical. It's actually influenced your historians at the Capitol.
Well, he's even got all the dirt roads that used to be Route 66 in Oklahoma on there, and that's a treat to drive all the
1922 routes.
Yeah,
you normally wouldn't find. You'd find little side graveyards. Just really fascinating things and wonderful photos in there too. So, so I know that you guys hang out. You've done some different stuff.
In '94, he and I brought out the Here It Is map series instead of 8 maps. And we did half the research, and then I drew it, and he wrote it. So that's been going strong. We worked on a book, Route 66 Sightings. We worked on a video. We've done a lot of things together.
Sightings is, has lots of art and...
Well, it's our photographs and our writing, me, Jim, and Shelley, his wife. And we published it ourselves, full color coffee table book. Went through 2 printings. It's almost sold out. And that's it, you know.
Now you have to be rich to buy that book, right?
Yeah, it's just $45.
but if you want a nice coffee table book, folks, buy that book.
Act now, supplies are limited. Or I should say, if you act now, we'll also include a set of Ginsu steak knives, yes.
So consider this. Also the map series is absolutely wonderful. I have that. You know, I have your Route 66 Easy Guide, which is considered the thing to buy when you're going on a Route 66 trip. It takes you map by map all the way along Route 66 and shows you the sites too. It's written out on the side as it goes along.
See, I get to publicize quite a few Route 66 museums and motels and restaurants and galleries. It's
promo.
And I don't charge anything for that. If I see a place I like it, I'll put it in the book. You know, it's just fun to be able to be a part of it.
It's a good thing. Yeah. So concerning the arts scene or whatever, or artwork, what are some of the different places around that you like?
Okay, if we go back east, Jax Wellborn has a community art gallery in Waynesville, Missouri. She has the work of other artists and photographers in there. We go out to Amarillo. Bob Crocodile Lyle, this is really a cool old character, has Lyle Art Gallery, and he has the work of different artists. He started out a while back taking paint chips off of the Cadillacs at Cadillac Ranch. The tourists would spray paint them, and sometimes the chips would be that thick and they just fall off. And he was making mosaics out of those. And then he got the bright idea of carving them and clear coating them and turning them into just magnificent jewelry. So it's really cool, really creative.
Yeah.
And then there's another art gallery. I know that Jim Livingston has photos there. These are all on 6th Street in Amarillo. 6th Street is the happening street for art galleries and antique stores and restaurants.
In Amarillo, Texas. Yeah.
And we had Maisel Zimmerman, who had a Tumbleweeds Grill and the Texas Water Hole 2 in tiny little Texola, Oklahoma. I mean, there wasn't anything on Route 66 open in Texola until she opened that up. And she was doing well with her little art gallery and grill, but COVID has she's had to close for a while. We're hoping that when the travelers come back this spring, because they can, if nothing else happens, if we don't get zombie apocalypse, then we're hoping that she'll be able to open, and a lot of these other places will too.
Yeah, well, very much so. I would think that I've been through there. There's nothing there, and then this, you know, she kind of sticks out.
There are a lot of creative people on Route 66. It seems to bring out the creative juices. There's writers, artists, photographers. Mariko Kusakabe from Japan. She photographs and blogs about 66 every day. She's brought out a set of 15 black and white postcards of Chandler.
Awesome.
He wants to promote the town. You've got people around the world that are interested in Route 66. I know people in Japan and all over Europe and Australia that are creative people. That it's just it's a big muse. You know, it's inspirational.
Yeah, and that's how people from around the world. You say European. A lot of European. We look at Europe like, you know, the artsy place. Now they're looking at us that way.
Well, with us, it's more of the. I think it's more of the maybe lowbrow artsy pace. You know, lowbrow art is where you have hot rods and devil girls and stuff. I have a painting like this here in the other room. I'll show you later. Americana, yeah. The culture, the kitsch, the really cool stuff. The American automobiles in the 50s with the tail fins. The music, they come over here because of our rockabilly and rock and roll and blues, music that the popular culture has kind of passed by. They like our old movies, our country and western. They like the cowboys and Indians. They like the Marlboro Man. They like all this cultural stuff from America.
But you go through Route 66, through, you know, New Mexico, you know, Taos. You take these side trips, you know, and Amoro, you know, and you see these different things that go back many hundreds of years.
Oh gosh,
that represent America.
You can go right on 66 near Pecos, New Mexico, and there's an old abandoned mission that had been there for hundreds of years. Las Vegas, New Mexico, is 6 miles off the route and considered a side trip. Santa Fe is the oldest house in America, you know, supposedly. Yeah, 66 has history, it has music, it has culture, it has scenery. You have old cars, you have neon signs, you have just lots of different cultural references you can hang your hat on. You know?
Well, here in Oklahoma, concerning some of our cultural references, I know that Tulsa was considered a real art center for many, many years, and now it's coming into the limelight as a Route 66 destination again. It was big in certain things. Do you see Tulsa as an arts town, or how do you see Tulsa in the Route 66 picture?
I'm seeing a lot of the creative activity along, like especially the 11th Street corridor, where 66 is east of downtown. You have artists selling work at places like Buck Adams and many of the other shops. You have a lot of murals. You have their neon sign program, which is encouraging businesses to refurbish old signs or make new ones. And to me, neon signs are art. I designed one myself for the city of Gallup, New Mexico back in the 90s.
Yeah. I saw that at the chamber when me and my family went through there this summer. Wonderful.
Yeah, and you know, all of this stuff is actually revitalizing that whole stretch of Route 66. You have on the western side a little neon sign park that went in recently.
Yeah.
You have murals in many of the cities, Sapulpa and even Little Davenport. People are painting murals alongside 66. I know Cuba, Missouri is called the Mural City, but other cities have just as many, it seems now, you know.
Yeah, and that's very important that some of these towns that we have in Oklahoma have been designed by American Indians. That some of them came out of OU, and and that's a part of Oklahoma history right there. So Tulsa, in various ways, including what we were talking about along on 11th Street, you have lots of the signs and all sorts of artwork.
Well, you have the cool Art Deco. All along that street and also downtown. They were fortunate for the oil boom back, from Glenpool and the Tulsa oil fields that fed just about the right time for all this Art Deco skyscrapers and churches and things to be built. And you have the great museums, and Tulsa's got a lot going on.
Philbrook.
Tulsa seems to have jumped in and grabbed Route 66 with both hands and is developing actively. Oklahoma City, they're trying to catch on. They're putting up some more signs recently to show you how to drive 66. And there are districts like the Tower District and the Paseo District and the Will Rogers Theater District that are kind of growing. They're taking some neighborhoods which had been kind of on the decline, and now they're becoming active and vibrant again.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wish more towns would realize that 66 has the potential to do them a lot of benefit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here we're lucky that we've had some recent additions to our Chandler. We have our 66 bowling alley, which also has laser tag and indoor miniature golf and a cool collection of gas pumps and gas station signs and memorabilia. You know, it's just, but it's not so much of a art town. I couldn't really have my gallery here if it wasn't for the Route 66 people coming by. I invite them in my books and maps. They come by and meet me, and I'll sign your books, and I'll give them updates on how the roads are and things like that. So that's what keeps it going, except during the winter when there's hardly anybody that comes by, but you know.
Well, tell us some about your museum.
Well, it's not a museum, it's art gallery. Yeah. Well, it's at Jerry's Route 66 Art Gallery. I'm about a block off of 66, which is a little confusing, and I'm one of the hardest people to find on Route 66, which is ironic because I tell people how to drive Route 66. But once they find me, I'll come over and visit with them and hear their stories about why they're traveling 66. I'll ask them why, especially if they're from another country. Why do you want to drive 66? And during good years when we don't have COVID messing up, I will have half my business is like from overseas. And I've done a lot of paintings for people of their cars in Australia and New Zealand and England. I've got paintings in Japan and prints all around the world. And it's only because of Route 66 I get to meet these people.
That's so neat. I know that people from the Czech Republic and there's been a big interest, and they've connected up with Tulsa, people in Tulsa.
A visitor from Israel yesterday. But in 2020, I had no international visitors because it was locked down. And this year, a few have started to sneak through. I had, in June, a lady from Canada. She was able to fly in. Then I had a couple from England that came into Mexico, and probably the same thing for a couple from Turkey. And this man from Israel, he was able to come in. So there are ways to get in, but now that they've opened it up, I'm thinking spring and summer next year are going to be just packed.
Wow.
And I hope so, because a lot of Route 66 artists and business people depend on that. And we miss them. It's fun to have this room full of Australians. And, oh, they're all mate this and dog that. And say, oh, keep your shrapnel, mate. They call our change shrapnel. Oh, keep the change, mate. You know, and stuff like that. It's just so much fun to deal with people from around the world. Yes.
Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Well, I want to thank you so very much.
Well, you're welcome, James.
For being available for this interview, Jerry, and
my pleasure.
Yeah, and we'll come back and see our program here on Arts in 66, the James Ruggles Show. Have a great day, folks.
Take it easy.
Thank you for watching the James Ruggles Show. Next time we will be in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Thank you for watching the James Ruggles Show and Arts in 66 in Oklahoma. Have a great day.